I have just finished wiping tears off of my face. I'm so excited. There is a world that we are living in right now where there is a chance that Charles Oliveira does not get slimed out October 11th or 14th. I have no clue what day it is. October 11th versus Rafael Fiziev because Rafael Fiziev has fallen out of the fight. And we need a new opponent for him. I am trying to hurry up and make this. The UFC is definitely going to make an announcement today or tomorrow. I need to beat him to it. MMA Guru already beat me to it. UK time zones. It is what it is. We'll keep it moving, but it's canceled. Rafael Fiziev has an injury. Unfortunate. It would have been a really fun fight. I think we all were looking forward to it, regardless of what the outcome was going to be. But now I am given the dutiful job, the prestigious job of finding a new opponent for this man right here, Charles Oliveira. You know, this guy has been racing horses in Brazil. He has been eating steaks in Brazil. I think he's got like a mansion. I don't know. I think the kids bred it up, but it is what it is. Here's the thing, right? Late June was the last time that Charles Oliveira fought. That is a problem. We need to give this man a guy who is chinny, a guy who is equally chinny like him. We need someone who cannot punch that hard. We need to make this the best circumstances possible to bring our GOAT back home to the promised land and back home to the 155 title after Ilia Topuria vacates to fight Bud Crawford, which, by the way, is ridiculous and will never happen. But we got to find somebody for him. And I know what you're thinking, right? You're listening to this video, you're like, dude, there's no way the UFC doesn't give him a hard short notice matchup to chin him and put him out from the sport permanently. He took this so he could retire, right? And he's hiding it from us. I am here to tell you right now, like I've said before, and I will say it again, this is not a real image on the bottom of the screen. I don't know what to tell you. This fight did not happen, and we are acting as if this fight did not happen, okay? Even if it did, even if there's a weird world where like AI becomes reality and fucking Joe Rogan becomes an Autobot and starts talking about Benson Henderson and calf kicks, this world is not one that existed. Charles Oliveira's chin is still here. We have never been knocked out cold. Ultimately, we need an opponent. We are playing Family Feud with Charles Oliveira's career at the moment. Steve, we're looking for a lightweight contender here. We need to find the most likely matchups and go 1 through 3. We're going to go most likely to ones that I want to see, right? And oh man, I'm ready to get into what these matchups are, man. Number 1 for Charles Oliveira in Rio. Who are they going to put against Charles Oliveira, you ask? Renato Moicano. This, to me, in my opinion, seems like the best move for both of their careers. Renato Moicano has zero punching ability. It would be very easy for a guy like Charles Oliveira to walk through him, get past the grappling, submit him, knock him out. It's a great win for the people in Rio. But if Moicano flukes him, it kind of resurrects his career for a little bit because I believe you only have one more fight left of the Money Moicano gimmick. He's 36 years old. He does not punch hard. He doesn't really fight to finish. We saw in the Beneil Dariush fight, his finishing instincts are not that good. Couldn't finish Benoit from full mount for 4.5 minutes. Jalen Turner quit. We need Moicano to get his gimmick back. And I will say this, Renato Moicano, in my opinion, is one of the funniest dudes in the UFC. So many people hate on him. They're like, oh, this guy's said funny. I don't know if you've seen that clip of him talking about Raul Rosas. I still believe that's one of the funniest clips of all time.
Man, one thing that I have to point out, this is one of the ugliest motherfucker that I ever seen. Put this frame, my brother. Stop the sound.
Renato Moicano is a guy that we need to keep alive as a popular figure in the sport. Another bad loss for him to a guy that's a low level, and you can't keep the gimmick running. But if he gives Charles Oliveira a decent fight, he has moments, oh my god, look how close that rear naked choke was on Charles. Then you can keep the Moicano gimmick going even though he's in his later years. I think that makes the most sense. They're both Brazilian. Why not do that in the Rio card? Moicano took 0 damage against Beneil Dariush. He just cast out. Matchup number 2. This, in my opinion, from apparently everything's in my opinion, but this is what I honestly, in my heart of hearts, think the UFC is going to do. I've heard rumors about it already. I'm super excited and hoping that this is what they do. I think it's an awesome main event. Benoit Saint-Denis. Listen, man. People forget, man, Benoit Saint-Denis kills people with rocks. This is the guy that we need in the main event to take the top 5 spot in the rankings. He was a favorite against Dustin Poirier. He killed people in Africa. He did a cool celebration against Mauricio Ruffi. Benoit Saint-Denis is on a title run. It's very clear. We beat Kyle Prepolek on short notice as a minus 2,000 favorite, and we will be beating Charles Oliveira as an underdog here. Here's the thing. Charles Oliveira loves to sit on his back. He loves to work triangles. You're not going to submit Benoit Saint-Denis. Listen, the kid's a marauder. It is what it is. No defense, probably going to get chinned, but he is a marauder, right? And he's going to get Charles down. He's going to submit him. Easy work, round 1. Benoit Saint-Denis title shot versus Ilia Topuria next. That's what we need to see, is Benoit versus Ilia Topuria. More importantly, I think it's a great fight for Charles. Yes, the grappling is there, and it's scary if you're a guy like Charles who likes to sit on his back, but Benoit Saint-Denis is chinny as fuck. He is one of the chinniest lightweights in the division in general, not even in the rankings, and probably past couple of years. He has no striking defense. I love Benoit, zero striking defense. Charles Oliveira can absolutely knock him out on the feet, or at least knock him down to then submit him. And I think that is the type of matchup Charles needs when his chin is on the line. A guy that doesn't hit that hard. A guy that's just throwing kind of body kicks at you. People forget, man, Benoit Saint-Denis, one of the nastiest body kicks in the game. I think that fight makes a lot of sense. He has said that he was looking at that fight if something happened to it. And we are at the point now where I think we can throw Benoit Saint-Denis into the mix again. He's got the confidence back. I think it's a big moment in his career. I think he can step up and make it happen. I think he likes the matchup for himself. I think Charles would like this matchup. And I think they do it, man. I think that's an awesome fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if this gets announced in the next 24 hours. So stay tuned for that. We do have one more fight. Now, listen. There is a man who has conquered legends. He's conquered legends like Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, Edson Barboza. I think he also beat Beneil Dariush. I'm not completely sure. And he has also fallen at the hands of legends like Clay Guida, Stevie Ray, Thiago Moises. This is a man that needs no introduction. He is a menace in the way that he fights. Michael Johnson should be the short notice replacement for Charles Oliveira.
This nigga's legendary? Based on what?
You're telling me you wouldn't watch Michael Johnson, Charles Oliveira, 5-round main event. Listen, the kid was a plus 500 underdog against Daniel Zellhuber. The disrespect, motherfucker. The disrespect. This guy should never have been a plus 500 underdog. Michael the Menace Johnson, nasty 1-2 on the feet. I think if you don't have any options at lightweight, you just want to put on like an unk banger, how is this fight not happen type of thing, put Michael Johnson in there. The kid has cardio for days. He can box with them. He can grapple with any of them. On any given night, Michael Johnson can beat anyone. We can fulfill the meme of throwing Michael Johnson in with the top 5 lightweight contender. He's been calling out Justin Gaethje. That shit is never going to happen. We need Michael Johnson and Charles Oliveira to fulfill the prophecy. And all Michael the Menace Johnson truthers know he will win this fight. He will slime out Charles Oliveira. He will put on a masterclass. I love Charles. But this is how the Michael Johnson works. You have to come to expect that he is going to come in there and he is going to somehow knock him out, put on the cleanest leg kick, body shot, wrestling, good boxing up top, performance you've ever seen in your life. And by the way, this is a good matchup for Charles. Johnson has struggled sometimes in his career by laying on his back. He struggled in clinch scenarios. He's also struggled mightily with his chin. I think Charles has the power to put anyone down, and especially Michael Johnson. So I do think these final 2 matchups are really all of them are favorable. Now that we have gotten away with not having to watch Fiziev possibly fucking fluke Charles Oliveira. The kid's never knocked anybody out, but apparently he was going to fluke Charles. It is what it is. But we need Michael Johnson in the situation, man. I really believe this is like a podcast. I really believe Michael Johnson could come in there and give a more fun fight than Rafael Fiziev would have. That's true. I think Michael Johnson, Charles Oliveira is a more fun fight than Rafael Fiziev and Charles Oliveira. Because guess what? Fiziev goes in there, let's say he puts on a stinker, he does nothing for 5 rounds, they both kind of stare at each other at range. You knew that was going to happen. Fiziev has a tendency to do that sometimes for some weird reason, even though he has the tools to be a really exciting fighter. He comes in there and slimes Charles out. You're sad, you're depressed. Why, world? Why is this happening to me? You put Michael Johnson in there, it's a scrap. You're excited for both of them to go in there and fight their hearts out. I think that's what we need in the UFC right now, in an era where no one is fighting each other. Make an UNC matchup, make random 2016 heads come back to the sport and watch. Bring Ariel Helwani to the press conference, Luke Thomas to the press conference. Bring them all back. I think that is the matchup to make. It's never going to happen. It's sad, but it is what it is, you know. And we just got to keep the train rolling. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to come in here and talk about possible replacements. I've done that. Tell me down below which out of those three you believe is the best replacement for Charles Oliveira's fight. I personally think it's going to be Benoit Saint-Denis. I've heard rumors of Benoit Saint-Denis. I think Moicano makes a lot of sense promotionally. If you just think from a business standpoint, you're not going to have a lot of fights of him with this kind of aura around him left, especially after Beneil Dariush beat him. Old man Beneil, gray hair. Or Michael Johnson, man. I think that's a sneaky hardcore pick by me, you know? Nah, I'm kidding. But yeah, man, listen, best matchmaker on YouTube besides Bedtime. Although, no, fuck that, man. I'm taking the crown. I've taken the crown of best matchmaker, and you know why? I made that UFC 322 predicting the rest of the main card video. I put Steve Garcia and David Onama on there, and it's just been announced that Garcia and Onama is the main event of an Apex card. I was pretty close. I was about a week off. It is what it is. Tried my hardest there, but I'm the best matchmaker. I personally know Dana White. Me and Dana White chop it up all the time with the Nelk boys. We get sendy with the Nelk boys. We gamble.
Wrong guy.
$1,000 on Baccarat. We do all that. So thank you so much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate every single one of you. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.